doctor for more than 25 years. She has been a leader in research and education in the fields of Aboriginal mental health, child psychiatry and recovery from grief and trauma.
For her efforts, she's been named the West Australian of the Year, and she joins us now. Good morning and welcome to Breakfast.
Good morning. It's pretty early over here in the West.
And we always appreciate it whenever we get someone from WA on the program, so our hearts go out to you. But it's worth it because what an honour. Congratulations for being a nominee now amongst a very big field for the national title.
Yes, it is a great honour, and I feel very humbled and very privileged to be part of this. I think it's fantastic, and what a wonderful group of people to be with as well.
What a wonderful group indeed. As we mentioned, you were Australia's first Indigenous doctor. How did that experience shape you and help you achieve the fantastic achievement you've made over your career?
Well, of course, I didn't actually know it at the time when I was going through. It was just something that I'd always thought about doing. Medicine was really the career for me. And it wasn't until later when we actually tried to get all the Indigenous graduates together across all of the states and territories that we realised that I was actually the first graduate in Australia that we could find. So, look, it was a great, again, privilege and honour to be the first. However, I just wanted to also pay respect to the fact that we always had traditional healers in our communities and they've held us in very good stead for many, many thousands of years.
Yeah, good point. You've used your career to look very closely at child mental health, and you are still having a lot of worries about where we're at with our treatment of children who need help.
Yes, that's right. It's been my passion for my entire career, really, to work with kids and families, and particularly kids who have had significantly adverse experiences in childhood, obviously a lot of trauma. And that's not just for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children, but really children across the board. And look, I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding and perhaps not quite enough understanding around the mental health challenges that children have. I mean, children are very resilient, but they're not that resilient. They really face a lot of mental health challenges as well, and they're no more immune to the stress that we're all under. And so I think we need to have a much better understanding of what we need to do. As much as I completely agree with prevention and early intervention, we also need really good comprehensive clinical services when things do go wrong, and children really do need that help earlier. And we all know that the earlier you can get into some of these sorts of problems and sort them out and get children back on track, then the better that's going to be, not just for the immediate concerns that you may have, but actually for their whole life. The earlier you can start treatment, the better you can get children working back on track again and learning and being happy kids. Then the future will take care of itself. It's
been a pretty trying 12 months for all of us, care of COVID-19 induced lockdowns, travel bans and stuff like that. How much has that presented a more significant challenge to children's mental health, particularly in states like Victoria where there are hard lockdowns?
Yeah. Look, I think it creates an enormous amount of anxiety for all of us, doesn't it? Not just the kids, but for the parents, for the grandparents, for everybody right across society. And look, I guess we can't also keep children from understanding what's happening as well. We can't always 100% shield children from the reality of the world that we live in, but we need to be able to do it in a way that's helpful, that helps build their resilience and actually protects their mental health. But there is a lot that we can do, and I've seen some really innovative programs already, with things online for kids and different ways that kids can still engage in their learning and their socialisation, which of course is really important for their development. But yes, I think we're not out of the woods yet, and there's still going to be a lot of mental health issues that are going to still crop up well after we're free from some of these issues that we're currently facing.
Yeah, Helen, can I just ask you finally, because you were a commissioner during the Child Sexual Abuse Royal Commission, how do you, given everything you've seen and heard, how do you sort of hang on to hope to keep going?
Well, that was, of course, a really profound experience, and I think that there is always hope. And I think that what I see with children is that even though you can have some extremely traumatic and difficult and very tragic circumstances to deal with, when you actually see a child recover, when you see a child get their sparkle back, that really gives you the hope that you need to keep going. And that's, I think, true for all of us working with children and in mental health in general. And I think that there are a lot of things that we've learned and things that we sort of know how to do well for kids. So I don't think it's ever too late, but I do think we need to get on with it early, and we need to be much more comprehensive with the approach that we take. And we need to make sure it's equitable right across all of the communities where there are children living. For example, in some of our rural and remote communities, particularly in a state like WA, which is extremely large, some of those services really aren't there, not that sort of specialised there. And so we also need to think, and I think COVID has given us this opportunity, to think a little bit differently about how we might deliver some of the services so that it actually is equitable wherever a child lives. They still should have the same opportunity to thrive.
Helen Milroy, it's been great to talk to you. The benefit of waking up very early in WA is you've got the whole day ahead of you now.
Yes,
a whole day.
And another beautiful day in WA.
Helen, thank you very much for your time.